How's everything going with you at the moment? It seems like life is going well. What have you been up to?
Amanda Ribas is only 5'5" and a tiny 115 pounds, but she can still pack a hearty punch, knocking you out in a heartbeat. She's become one of the most crowned favorites, and for good reason. Many fighters aspire to reach to the UFC levels, arguably the most ultimate proving ground when it comes to fighting, and many aim to become champions and catapult their career as well as their bank account. And what better person to look up to than this woman as a role model? In today's video, we're going to tell you all there is to know about UFC female star Amanda Ribas. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as well as hit the post notification bell so you never miss another update from us. About Amanda. Amanda Ribas was born in August of 1993, making her only 28 this year. Ribas was always born to be a fighter, her destiny always set from the moment that she entered the world. Her father was none other than martial arts trainer Marcelo Ribas, and at the time of his daughter's birth, Marcelo already had more than 40 Vale Tudo bouts under his belt. Amanda was basically raised inside of a gym herself. When she was just a small girl, her dad signed her up for jiu-jitsu classes, recognizing her talent from an early age. For a while, when she was 12 years old, she decided that she wanted to follow in her friend's footsteps and signed up for dance class. As you can imagine, her father wasn't too happy as he saw a future for his daughter in the fighting realm. Over a year later, the teen was back at it again in the gym, where her father signed her up for judo classes, giving her the first real taste of what mixed martial arts is really all about. When asked about it, Marcelo recounts, quote, "Amanda had some fights in the gym. We didn't give it a name, but it really was amateur MMA bouts. I don't think she knows it, but she fought twice when she was 12 or something. My son, Arthur Ribas, did his first amateur fights when he was 9. That's crazy, huh? I guess I already saw something back then." While training under her father, she suffered 2 knee injuries, which ended up ruining her hopes and chances of representing Brazil in the Olympic Games, and up until that point, had been a huge goal and dream of hers. This is when Marcelo saw MMA in Amanda's future, and when she seriously started focusing solely on MMA. He decided that at the age of 21 in 2014 that she would give MMA an official try and start training vigorously. Early career. After Amanda had won the 2014 IMMAF World Championship in the women's flyweight division, she quickly entered the professional MMA career and has since fought proudly for her home country, Brazil. Since beginning her professional MMA career, she has amassed a 6-1 record prior to her signing with the UFC. After her win in 2014, she went with her teammates and close friends on a trip to Rio de Janeiro, which she stated changed her life. Quote, "It was funny because I didn't even want to fight, but my teammates were training me for the IMMAF World Championship tryouts," she says. "I was back to Virginia after blowing my knee, and I didn't want to even hear about sports or get close to the gym. But I went there to watch a training session and saw them preparing for the tryouts, and I felt that fire again." Unfortunately, soon after Amanda blew her ACL, kneecap, and meniscus, undergoing a pair of surgeries, despite her injuries, Carlos Barreto, UFC and Pride heavyweight, had convinced Marcelo to sign his daughter up for the amateur tour, stating, quote, "You didn't need to go to the Olympics, but maybe God wants you to fight MMA instead." Amanda ended up getting back-to-back wins to capture the IMMAF 2014 World Championship, which was held in Las Vegas, Nevada. Following this, she seemed to be on a winning streak, winning her professional MMA debut only a week later in Brazil. Once again, she had defeated 3 opponents in a one-night, 8-woman tournament held in her hometown. This was huge for Amanda and definitely put her name on the map. When asked about this time in her life, she had said, quote, "It was quite difficult," she said, of competing in a one-night Grand Prix. "Fighting in a tournament was pretty badass. I was used to completing a lot in one day in judo. It's a completely different sport, of course, but the adrenaline of fighting many times in one night in MMA was very unique." Amanda was quickly on her way to following and even may pass her father's record, which he claims is 47-1 in Vale Tudo contests located around Brazil. However, there's actually no official records or really any proof of this. It was painfully obvious to anybody that knew Amanda and her family dynamic that her father pressured her to compete in MMA and spend all of her time and energy focusing on becoming professional and the best that she could be. Amanda decided to quit MMA for a while, with many speculating that some of the causes would have been due to her father's relentless pressure and expectations. When asked about it, she said, quote, "There was a moment I just wanted to quit everything. That's it. I'm done. I'm only getting punched in the head and not making any money. My colleagues in college had jobs, they were getting paid monthly, and I had nothing. I taught classes in the gym, but I didn't have much money. I wanted to stop. Her father even told her, quote, "No way, you're not getting a job. You'll either study or fight. Are you crazy?" She wanted to be a secretary, man, he says. I wanted to kill her. Money was definitely a big issue with Amanda. She was performing and performing well for that matter, but she just wasn't receiving much compensation, coupled with a recent loss that she had suffered at the hands of Poliana Viana in Rio. Viana knocked Amanda out within the first round. Quote, "I was frustrated because I didn't follow the right strategy. I made a mistake," Amanda says. "I wanted to train as soon as possible when the fight was over because I was so angry at myself. It's easier when you can see the mistake you've made." Not too long after she had signed with the UFC and became an official fighter under the promotion, quote, "Signing with the UFC was not only my dream, but also my dad's," Amanda says. "It was called Vale Tudo back then. People called him a street fighter. They said he was a bad seed in the city, but me signing with the UFC showed people that he was doing honest work and could change lives. And when I finally showed them he was very professional, not that street fighting stuff, it comes out that I tested positive in a doping test. Many people still think doping is drugs, that I was using cocaine. Imagine that." Amanda was set to face Juliana Lima in the Ultimate Fighter 25 finale in 2017. However, the fight quickly got flagged by USDA for potential anti-doping violations, and she was quickly removed from the fight. The test was sparked by a previous incident where she tested positive for Ostrin. However, the USDA later came back stating that this was due to a dietary supplement issue. She won the fight with a rear naked choke submission in the second round, a huge moment for Amanda. In October of 2019, Amanda was up against Mackenzie Dern in the UFC Fight Night, Joanna versus Watterson. It was clear she was the better fighter and ended up coming out victorious, winning the fight with a unanimous vote from the judges. Following this win, she was scheduled to fight Paige VanZant in March 2020 at the UFC Fight Night Lee versus Oliveira, but VanZant was forced to pull out due to an injury. She ended up being replaced by Randa Markos, where Amanda won the fight once again. VanZant rescheduled the fight, and the pair eventually fought at UFC 256, and as you can already imagine, Amanda won this fight via submission in the first round. After that fight, Amanda was set to face Carla Esparza in December 2020, but in October, Esparza pulled out due to unknown reasons that still to this day have yet to be disclosed. So instead, Amanda got set up to fight Michelle Waterson in January of 2021, but yet again, this didn't happen. Reports stating that Waterson was forced out of the event. Eventually, Amanda was finally set up with Marina Rodriguez instead, and they were finally able to battle it out. Amanda did lose this fight, which was not a common occurrence at the time for her, being on a winning streak. Rodriguez won the fight due to a technical knockout in the second round. Where is she now? Amanda Ribas has now made quite a name for herself in the UFC world, getting her a lot of new attention. Amanda has stated that she welcomes the attention and says that it doesn't add any extra pressure. Quote, "It very is welcoming for me," she said at UFC 251 Media Day. Quote, "It's awesome because in the UFC, there's a lot of fighters, and when they say this about my name, about Amanda Ribas, it's wonderful for me." Since defeating many well-known names in the female UFC community, Amanda has gone on to say, quote, "Before this fight, I fought against Mackenzie Dern, another big name, so I'm fighting with great girls, big names, and not just in MMA, but in all of sports," Ribas said. "I think I can be a big name too." It's pretty obvious that Amanda is quite the fan favorite at UFC 251. Many are betting on Amanda, who has a strong public backing anyway. So there you have it. Those are a couple things about the great UFC fighter Amanda Ribas. She's definitely going to continue to go up and win more matches because she's a legend in the making. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as well as hitting that post notification bell so you never miss another update from us. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later.